Hi there. Just another opportunity for me to give you a bit of an update on what Tourism NT is up to. It's been a pretty busy couple of months since I last spoke to you, and I guess highlighted by the industry roadshows that we undertook right throughout the territory. I was lucky enough to get along to Darwin, Katherine, and the one we held in Jabiru. And on top of that, my team then conducted similar workshops in Nhulunbuy, Tennant Creek, and Alice Springs. And it was great to see the level of participation and the numbers at all those events this year. It was certainly an improvement on last year. And I took that as a sign that people are wanting to hear what our plans are for the future, particularly in the way we're going to market the Northern Territory. And that was something that was really central to the whole idea of having these workshops. And also central to the idea of having those workshops was to get your feedback on the plans that we presented. And generally speaking, that was terrific. We got some great feedback, and the opportunity is still there for you to please feedback any thoughts you may have following those presentations, or what you've seen on our website, or what you've heard from our marketing team, back into the marketing team, so that we can take that into consideration before we nail things down once we know once and for sure what our final budget situation is. We have a board meeting coming up at the end of April, and we're pretty keen to have a presentation to the board then that will really set the direction and get them to sign off and endorse the marketing direction for the next 12 months. Look, we'll always have a little bit of flexibility around our marketing, because situations change and we need to be able to adapt to those and respond to those accordingly. So whilst we have a set template, if you like, in the way of our marketing program for the year, we'll always give ourselves a little bit of agility, if you like, a little bit of room to move so that we can respond to market changes. On top of the roadshows, we also took 7 operators into Europe, centred around ITB, which, for those of you that don't know, is the world's largest travel expo, held in Berlin in March of every year. The 7 operators were a good spread from across the territory, and it gave them an opportunity to see not just what the competition is, but also how our distribution partners are looking at the market, at their respective markets, and the opportunities are there. And I'd have to say, from my perspective, it's incredibly positive, particularly in Germany. Australia is certainly back on the wish list, and the Northern Territory is very much flavour of the month there as well. So from my perspective, a very, very successful visit over to that market. We also did some work in Paris and London, and then a number of those 7 operators then proceeded on to the USA for a Tourism Australia event over there, which we were obviously heavily involved in as well. So that went very well also, and I'm looking forward to having a debrief for those operators when they get back. To me, that's a reflection of how we want to continue working, particularly this year. The last few years has been about getting our house in order and getting our own strategies right, getting our own structures right. And whilst they continue to evolve, the real thrust for us this year is to use our operators at the forefront of our marketing. We want operators to be very visible. We want them to be in front of consumers. We want them to be in front of the trade. Our role is really to set the scene, to provide the general distribution information, make people attracted to the territory, make them excited about potentially visiting here. But at the end of the day, it's up to the operators to really get those people to convert that interest and that intent and that awareness into actual visitation to the territory, from which they will benefit, obviously, because people will be buying their product. On the other side of that, we understand that we've got to do a lot more work in that digital space. That's becoming such a powerful force and distribution tool for us. So again, we want to work more closely with the industry and get them up to speed. I'd have to say that we probably lag a little behind overall. Generally speaking, there's some outstanding operators out there that are really doing well in that space, but we recognise the importance of it. We want to make sure that we provide our operators with all the assistance and support and the tools for them to be effective in that area as well. So that'll be a big focus for us going forward. Look, yesterday in Alice Springs, just to bring you up to speed with what's happening in the centre, a big day for the Alice. Obviously Virgin came back into Alice Springs, now operating the new service between Darwin, Alice and on to Adelaide. Great schedule, very good airline, and obviously for us it's about getting those currently 3-a-week services up to 5 a week, and hopefully daily at the end of the day. But as soon as we can do that, the service will become sustainable and viable. So it's important for the community in Alice Springs, not just the tourism industry, but the overall community, to really support those services as well. So that was a big welcome for them yesterday, and we certainly look forward to working with them. It provides us those access points, if you like, to those other great big carriers over in our long haul markets that we really don't have any connection with at the moment, particularly Etihad and certainly Singapore Airlines. and also on the other side of the Pacific, Air New Zealand as well, which is a great part. All those airlines are great partners with Virgin Australia, so good news for us there. Last night I attended the opening of the new product experience at the RFDS, the Royal Flying Doctor Service here in Alice Springs. New technology, something we were really pleased to be involved in through the grants program, and I can tell you it's exactly the sort of product innovation that we need in the Territory, and I was really excited about it, and I think everyone that was also there with me to see the launch of that product was equally as excited. So, great big congratulations to RFDS. Gives people another great reason to come to the Territory, and I'm sure operators here need to go and see it for themselves and think about ways that they can work in partnership with the RFDS so that we have this bundle of product here in Central Australia that just makes it so compelling for people that they can't refuse to come here ultimately. So a big day for Alice Springs for sure. We've got ATE coming up pretty soon in June, and that's going to be a big event, Australia's largest international trade event. We've got pretty good representation there from Territory operators. New format this year, which I think will be better than what we've seen in the past, and I'm looking forward to, again, seeing our operators really take the forefront there as well. We've got a number of other activities happening at the moment. The Today Show here is in Central Australia at the moment, doing the weather reports from here, and I had a chance to have a quick look at that this morning and showing some great footage of the Alice as well. In the top end, we continue to work with our industry partners up there. We're very mindful of the accommodation squeeze that's been on up there in recent years. We're working with broader government to look at ways that we can actually not so much mitigate the things that are ultimately beyond our control, but certainly to make sure that our hoteliers are very aware of the potential of the leisure market, the longer term benefit of sticking with the leisure market, because once these booms are over, we don't want the destination to have slipped off everyone's bucket list. So it's a high priority for us, and again, the industry's input on how we can actually work well and effectively through that is something that we would certainly welcome as well. Look, I think that's about it for me for today. Covered a little bit there. I'm heading up to Darwin actually tonight for the AGM up there, and I wish all those people that have nominated for the executive committee and other officers up there are, I wish them all the best in their bid to be elected. We look forward to working with you, and certainly I think it's gratifying to me to see how we're more effectively working with both our RTOs now, and it's about us working as a team. It's about the whole industry working as a team, and I think until we get to that point in time, then things will remain difficult. But I can see some positive signs. I continue to say that I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not, overly exuberant about what's going on at the moment, but I think we have turned the corner, and I think if we can get our industry harnessed effectively out there in the marketplace and really pushing now the opportunity around not just building more awareness, which I think we're doing quite effectively, but actually getting people to convert to the Northern Territory and commit to the Northern Territory. So let's do that together, and I look forward to catching up with you all in the near future. Thank you.